Okay, so this is Kukakuka. It happens every Wednesday. It's at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and whatever time that is for you, wherever you are in the world. And tonight we are talking about the spirit of aloha and unconditional love, and it being unconditional love. So, to start us off in this share and in this discussion, I want to first share with you all a teaching, and the teaching of aloha is shared with us through a proverb, and that proverb, that teaching is aloha ikekahi, which translates to mean to love one another unconditionally. We do not have to condone what others do, but it is important that we find a way to love them anyways, as spiritual beings, as human beings. This love unconditional that we speak of begins with, and these are the exact words of my Kumu's Kumu. So these are the exact words of Anakala Filippo Solitario, Kumu Hula Anakala Filippo Solitario. And you can catch these words at the end of his film, Kalo Ola, which is Taro or Kalo is life, right? And he speaks about aloha ikekahi, and he gives these literal words, these exact words at the end, in sharing the essence of aloha in this teaching. And that is that in order to love one another unconditionally, we first must know everything about ourselves. And when we know everything about ourselves, then we can love ourselves. And that is the moment when our ancestors share with us, require of us to turn around and to share this love with everyone and everything in this universe, because that is indeed what makes it unconditional. In the simplicity of the teachings and the understandings of our ancestors, to achieve love for oneself and then only retain it for oneself, is not in the essence of aloha. Aloha is, first and foremost, it's a way of life. It's a way of thinking of our ancestors. And those are the exact words of my Kumu. Kumu Pa'a Lawrence Kalainia Kamani Aki, who's in the zone with us here. He's on the screen as Mana o Molokai. So in his film, Living the Sacred Teachings of Aloha, right? He speaks of aloha and love as being the gift, being the offering, that the mark that he would like to leave on the world and on the lives of his ohana and his loved ones, the mark of aloha. And he literally speaks about it in terms of it being a way of life and a way of thinking. And that it is aloha, it is love, that is unconditional, that we extend and we offer to everyone and everything in this universe. So, with that shared, when we are talking about, and good. When we're talking about the healing practices of our ancestors, right? I'm gonna actually speak very directly about one particular healing practice, healing process. Charlie's joining. Of Ho'oponopono. And the reason I'm doing that is because we're just coming out of part 2 of the Ho'oponopono traditional Hawaiian Ho'oponopono share and talk and discussion on the Clubhouse app. And so we've been sharing and talking and discussing this process from a traditional method. And one of the pillars that we're continually talking about is aloha, right? Now, taking aloha and applying it in the process of ho'oponopono, or applying it to any of the other number of healing practices that our ancestors developed, whether it's lomi lomi, Hawaiian healing touch, or it's la'au lapa'au, medicinal plants, medicinal herbs, right? Applying this understanding, this knowing, this teaching of aloha in those practices. The understanding is that if you are not in aloha, that your foundation is not solid and strong, and the outcomes of adhering to or practicing or fulfilling the process of ho'oponopono, for example, cannot be done. In ho'oponopono, we're achieving, right? We are moving back towards a place where we were in alignment, when we were fully connected, when our light is shining as brightly and as as bright and shiny as possible, as we were born into life with it shining. And that aloha is what streamlines through the process of ho'oponopono, and really actually in all the healing practices and processes of our ancestors. When we talk about it in terms of ho'oponopono, we're really talking about no matter what comes out of the session, no matter what comes up. And I'm telling you, some of the most horrific, gruesome stories come out in ho'oponopono of the things that people have been faced with, or have survived, or have been dealt with in their lives. So maintaining and holding and capturing this spirit of aloha becomes even more significant and important within the context and the sacred confines of ho'oponopono, both as the practitioner of ho'oponopono, the conductor of ho'oponopono, but also too for the individual that's seeking ho'oponopono to be done. It's the spirit of aloha that signals to the individual that they can share the shit that they've gone through, and not going to be judged, not going to be judged, not going to be ridiculed, not going to try to fix it. Is going to do nothing. They have a full understanding that no matter what they share, that they're in a completely sacred, sanctified, loving, unconditional space, that they can get it out of them and know that there's going to be nothing done with it. That it's going to be loved, it's going to be understood, it's going to be accepted for what it is. And left there in that space of ho'oponopono. So that the only thing that the individual walks away from with out of that ho'oponopono session is that aloha, is that love unconditional restored. So when we're talking about bringing the spirit of aloha into such things as lomi lomi or Hawaiian healing touch, right? The same understandings apply. There's going to be no part of that person's body that's going to feel neglected or unbeautiful, unpretty, undeserving of touch or love or care. Yeah. That the entirety of that person's physical form, yeah, is going to be enraptured and captured in the spirit of aloha. And the most sensitive part of our entire being, our skin, is going to communicate that, and it's going to be received. And we're going to touch every single part of it. Yeah. Every roll, every wrinkle, every mole, every crack, crevice. Yeah. And it's not, it's not going to conjure any kind of, or, oh, no. It's going to be totally, oh, wow. How beautiful that is. Yeah. How deserving of love that is, because it belongs to no one else. Yeah. So, and this now begins to lead me into the essence and the spirit and the truth of aloha. Yeah. And the components of knowing everything about ourselves that was shared to me and that I've shared with all of you from Uncle Filippo. And the components of it's a way of life and a way of thinking as it's been shared from Kumu Lawrence. Yeah. Loving unconditional aloha, the spirit of aloha, is the complete knowing and understanding of who you are. And it's an acknowledgement of, a recognition of, and an engagement with the entirety of you. All the highs, all the lows, all the beautiful, all of the what's deemed ugly. All the things that you've done and you haven't done. All of it. Captured, in alignment, the fullness, the entirety, and loved. And the concepts of deserving of and worthy of go away. So, and then the last part that I want to share with all of you before we start engaging with each other, because I'd really like to hear from all of you of your thoughts and your feelings about love unconditional. We many a times, what we must do in our lives and what we do many a times in such processes as ho'oponopono is we have to go back. We have to go as far back as the time of our birth, when we were born pure, when our light was shining the brightest, before we began to grow and develop and be shaped and molded by our circumstances, by our family, by the views and the social constructs that we're raised in. Back to that place where we were the closest to the point of origin, to that beautiful darkness, that dark of dark, where there was no obstruction, only place and belonging. So that's my share on aloha and unconditional love and the spirit of unconditional love. And I'd love to hear from all of you and your contributions to this Kukakuka. So mahalo for allowing me to share. Mahalo for being here once again. And Kumu Lawrence Aki's got his camera on. He's ready to go. Okay, here we go. Kumu Lawrence Kalainia Kamani Aki, it's off to you.
Aloha Kawika, aloha everybody. Welcome to the space. Everyone, here's where I'm at. Here's what I've got to share with all of you. Nothing is easy. Absolutely nothing. This lifestyle that Kawika speaks of and have been speaking of to many of you is, for many people, let me tell you, my experience is it's very, very hard for people to get there. It might sound wonderful, but it's very hard for people to get there. And that's because, people are faced with so many things in their life. Yeah. But the bottom line of love, everyone, is being happy. That's the bottom line. In that of our teaching, and I have to say in that of our teaching, because there's so much teachings out there, everybody, all right? The idea is you have to make your choice as far as what teachings you are going to follow and what teachings, you're going to come to embrace. The most important thing is the fact that you gotta be happy, people. And don't let anything, get in your way of being happy.
Mm.
People make mistakes. It happens. Everybody. But that's between you and that of Ahua. So, do the communication with Ahua, with that higher being, is what I'm saying, everybody. But we live our lives. We have things in our lives that is different from others. And differences, you have to embrace everybody. Differences, you have to understand. Differences is what is best for you and what makes you happy. That's what's important, is for you to find out what makes you happy. Because really, in truth of the matter, everybody, if you cannot be happy, then how can you love yourself? And then, how can you take on the kuleana that we have a responsibility to, as far as trying to learn things, learn, the many different ike, the many different knowledge that is being shared. Because once we begin to start to learn, everybody, we then have a kuleana. We have a responsibility. Especially if you learn for the purpose of becoming a healer yourself. But, my thing to you is, if the healing process is an issue, a problem, whether it be health or whether it be, you're not happy about it, then move on. That's my thing to you, Find something that will make you happy. Don't stay stagnated. Make the change, is what I'm telling you. The change is important, I always share with people, I share with my members, I share with my students, Don't look outside of the box, Don't pop your head outside of the box and look around. Jump the hell out of the box and start running, everybody. That's what I always say, all right? Because if you stay in that bloody box, everyone, you're going to remain there for the rest of your life. Okay? And the reason you're peeking out of the box is because you're peeking is because you're not happy with what's going on in the box. Yeah? So get the hell out of the box, everybody. All right? Always remember aloha. Always remember, that there is someone out there that can help you if you just reach out to it. And that's the ancestors, that's the guardians, that's the higher being, kind of thing. You love them first. You recognize their existence. Everything else comes easy. Really and truly the matter, it comes easy, everybody. And you know that guy or that wahine or that woman that always giving you drama, especially if they're your partner, dump the shit out of them. That's my advice to all of you. Especially if they're beating the shit out of you. What the hell are you doing around them? Yeah. Don't think they're going to change. If they did it the first time, they're going to do it a second, third, and fourth time. Get rid of them. All right? Right off the bat. And never be concerned for the person who beat the shit out of you. Okay? As to how that person going to feel or the fact that you missed that person, I'm shooting it straight to all of you, everybody. All right? I'm shooting it straight is because of the fact I want to see all of you be happy. Really, honestly. I want all of you to be happy. Yeah, I want you to have aloha. I want you to have love within yourself. But you got to love yourself first. All right? Because if you don't love yourself first, how in the world do you plan to share the love? Yeah? So, my experience is move on. That's my experience, everybody. Yeah. Don't go hanging on with something that's beating the shit out of you. And I go there, everybody, for a reason. I go there for a reason. Yeah. Too many times we're hopeful that things will change. That's not going to happen, everybody. Only you can make the change for yourself and for the circumstances that you are in. All right? So I aloha all of you. I love all of you. I say what I say is because I know if you follow my instruction, yeah, life is going to change for you. Yeah. And one of the first most position that you want to really be in, everybody, is this very subject Kawika talking about. If you watch my video, the question is asked of me, and I stated it in the video. What is the one thing I want to leave behind for the world? And that is aloha, everybody. That's the one thing I want to leave behind in this world, is aloha. Mahalo Kawika, mahalo everybody for being here. And if I didn't make any sense to you as to what I said, well, that's your problem, not mine. So hui ho.
And a hui ho. Okay. Mahalo. Look, everybody. So that's my Kumu talking, right? That's Kumu Pa Lawrence Kalainia Kamaniaki. He's the guy I learned everything that I share and talk about regarding our culture and our ancestry from. And I want to thank you. Again, I've got to say this. You're in Kukakuka, right? Kukakuka TalkStory. It happens every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And we're talking about aloha, the spirit of aloha, unconditional love. And I got done with my share. Kumu Lawrence has got done with his share. And I'm open to hearing from all of you. And actually, I've got two people in my eyesight right now that I want to totally just open it up to. The first is Kaz. Yes, dude. What's up, man?
Hey,
You gotta share. You gotta share on Aloha Unconditional Love that you'd like to contribute.
Can!
Hey, how's it? Yeah, there's a couple of things. I think maybe going back to something you said 2.5 months ago, you talked about aloha through the eyes of going and reverting back to the eyes of your childhood, or when a baby's first born. And maybe it was you, it might have been Kumu Lawrence, I can't remember, but when you explained aloha and that its essence was through the eyes of a child, anything's possible. You're flying with the birds. And I thought that was beautiful to me. It's just like that core essence. I've got a 3-year-old boy, and to see the world through his eyes, literally anything is possible.
Yeah.
That it all begins and ends in aloha for him. So when I think of aloha, I think about my boy. I think about just the purity that exists and how close he is. I mean, when I say like aloha, I also mean like the visions that he sees. Like when you listen to kids talk, if you really listen, there's such deep knowledge. And I think there's a reason that our ancestors, there was a reason that they were with their grandparents. They were with their grandparents so they could have that. I just think of when I think of my grandmother who's 90, and I think of my 3-year-old boy who's 3, and their connection to that side, the veil is so thin and it's so effortless. Yeah. And so when I think of aloha, it's like that just puts things into perspective for me. It's just the beauty that there is in our kapuna and in our keiki. And I think that's most evidence that I've seen in my life of what aloha embodies. That's my mana'o for the night.
Awesome. Awesome, Kaz. Thanks for that share. Beautiful. Is somebody speaking?
Yeah, Kumu, it's your hamana. Can I just add one thing to that?
Yeah.
Because I love just yesterday I was speaking with Melchior, my husband, and we got to the place of the spoken word, and we asked ourselves, is it the first thing you would say to a newborn baby? And is it the last thing you'd say to your kapuna if it was the last time you spoke to them? And like that being what's coming out of your mouth. Would you say that to your firstborn, the first thing you ever said to them? And would it be the last thing you ever said? And does it have that kind of aloha to it? Or that was like, wow for us. So it really brought me to that space again. Kaz, mahalo. Pau.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for picking on me, Kawika. I appreciate it.
Oh, dude, I had to. This is the first time you've been in any of my stuff, so I had to immediately. Plus, I'm totally digging the blurred background, camera focus stuff right now. So, it made your imagery made it easy to pick on you too.
I want you to see the mess.
Look, and then the other, where did you go? Where did you go? Melinda! Yes! Come on. It's the tears.
Yeah, did you see them?
Well, you have something that you'd like to share about Aloha Unconditional Love?
I'm still crying. Because I was in your clubhouse room today, earlier, and you were speaking of the same thing. And I just kept being in that state, in and out, and then also pondering on, the life I have lived, and where I'm going, living in my purpose. And so it's just been reflections just passing through me. And what I know is that this, of course, is preparation for my session as well. So, and then just you speaking again today, I'm just feeling it. But what always gets me is when you and Kumu are speaking, you resonate so strongly and beautifully what you speak. And that touches me so much that it resonates through me, and it's as if it makes it so much easier for me to reflect. Right, things just start coming forward, and I'm having realizations during this whole process. So this is where I'm at right now. So when you were speaking, just I don't know if you could see it, but yeah. It just started coming. Yeah. So that's my share. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Melinda. Yep. And it was the tears, actually. It was like, okay, I'm definitely going to Melinda.
Well, let me also say that all my life, I have been willing to reflect. And one thing that, because of the way I was raised, it was, it's the Western world in constant judgment of everything. But yet I wouldn't blame anyone.
Yeah.
So because a part of me just knew that's just where they're at.
Yeah.
And so I still maintain that. I blame no one. And, but I still reflect, And so, so that's always been part of who I am and how I am in the world. And as you say, those things are not easy when you love someone, but they are not quite there, right? And I've loved many, many people. And it doesn't matter that they cannot reciprocate in that same way. I've still loved them. And so I was just reflecting. And then also, Kaz was speaking about, or you were speaking about, when you greet your child for the first time. And I was remembering that very, very fondly, because he greeted me before I was even pregnant. And so we had this relationship, and so it was a beautiful moment when we first saw each other face to face in the human form. So, yeah. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for all that you've shared. Mahalo, Melinda. Okay, I want to go to Marita. Yes. Marita, you've got to share for us on the spirit of aloha, the spirit of unconditional love.
Sure. Yeah. I came in right at the tail end of Lawrence, which is great. He sort of just went, I came in on aloha, and if you didn't understand anything that I said, that's not my problem. Woo! It's been my theme for a long time. So I just laugh. So I apologise for my lateness. It's on stretchy time at the moment. Look, it's a word that has come and gone in my vocab, since I was little, since my first trip to Hawaii when I was 11 years of age. And yet when I was listening to Kaz about, it's the first thing you say to a newborn and it's the last thing you say to someone who's departing. And I've had those experiences often, and it made me feel, it sort of resonated immediately in my heart the first time I met my first grandchild. The tears, the waterfall tears that came over his head when I met him were just extraordinary tears of amazing joy and amazing honouring. And my spirit was taken to a depth that I did not think possible of love. I didn't think it was possible. So it was that I've had my one son, and that was extraordinary. He's number one, top of the hit list in my life. Yet when I met my grandson, it was There's no words. Aloha. And when the waterfall of tears came, I just said, welcome. And it's amazing to see you again, to be with you again. I know that we had, many, many resonances. And with my mother and father and eldest brother's death, the last human words were, I love you. And for my mother, it was, and I will see you again soon, which I have. She came back as my third grandchild really quickly. With my father, many, many lifetimes together, but it was that resonance of, and even though it seemed like if you were filming it, it was just, I love you, Ditsy. I love you, Dad. I will see you when I'm looking at you. And my next moment was his body, not his spirit, he'd gone. So for me, I think what I'm saying or attempting to is it's kind of wordless experiences. To put aloha into words is beyond what aloha, my understanding, very, very minimal understanding of what it is, but it holds the universe, and yet it holds the simplicity of I love you or I see you. What I see of you is love.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for asking me. I feel like a bit of a wag because I only came in on the tail end.
No, it's all okay. Come on, it's all good. It's good you made it, and I wanted to snag you while you're here.
Thank you.
Look, okay, so now I want to open this up to anybody that's inspired to share and to contribute about aloha, unconditional love, and what it means for you, and what your experience has been with it in your lives. Anybody?
Me, please.
Okay, Gasper, go for it.
So I wanted to share mahalo for being here, for me and everything. But yeah, so what I wanted to share was the natural states that we find ourselves when we are in presence, when we are in the moment, which is this this happiness, this joyfulness, when we don't have this prejudice that we get conditioned to bring us out of this kind of, judgment of what something is, whether it's good or bad, when in fact, when we are born in this natural state of just presence, there is no reference points to compare things to, and that allows us, or it doesn't prevent us from being in this state of aloha. So I just wanted to touch on that now moment presence of really encapsulating that moment, that you bring someone else into the moment that also maybe they haven't been in for a while as well. And that is just the aloha, the love, the unconditionalness of not seeing something or touching something or thinking something that is out of line because it's from the past or imagined. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share.
Mahalo for that. And okay, so there's an inspiration from your share, and also from Marita's share. And it's the concepts of space and time. In the understanding of our ancestors, there is no space or time. That these are actually man-made, human-made constructs that contribute to the belief in our separation. That in the understanding and the knowing of our ancestors, time and space doesn't exist. much like the concept of nature, right? And I've found myself talking about these three terms quite often in the last couple of months. That, for example, in nature, that's in the thinking, the ancestral thinking and understanding that it's not nature, that it is it's Ohana, it's family to us. So the wind and the trees and the ferns and the mosses and the river and the waterfall, they are alive. They have a spirit, and therefore they have a name, and that we are inclusive of them when we're talking about our ancestors. We're inclusive of them when we're talking about our relationship to our family. So in the use of the spoken essence of aloha, right? When we have, for example, and Lawrence really is brilliant in sharing this one as well. Well, of course, he shared it with me. So, but when we have, for example, you have two siblings. You have a brother and a sister, and the brother moves away, moves from Hawaii, moves to the mainland United States. And, for a career, to start a family, life takes him to the mainland United States. When the sister sends her child to go visit the uncle, right, her brother, on the mainland, and she tells her child that when he gets to when he arrives to his uncle, that he is to share with his uncle that his mother, right, the sister, sends her aloha. So the son makes the journey, arrives, gets settled in, and he goes to his uncle. And he says to his uncle, Mom sends her aloha. At that moment, right, the uncle is not talking to his nephew. The uncle is talking directly to his sister. That's the kind of love, that's what aloha is capable of. That reminder of the connection and the relationship. So that in that moment when it's shared, they're literally time traveling, time, space, no longer a consideration. It's as if the sister is right there. And it's as if the words are coming out of her own mouth to him. So that's my inspiration that I took away from Marita and Gasper's shares.
You know, I shared that with you so long ago that it just, it faded away from my mind. But I remember sharing that very well.
Yeah.
And, years ago, everybody, when people ask me about aloha, this is how, this very story that Kawika just shared, that's how I describe aloha. Yeah, to people, that when the son spoke the words that the mom shared, mom sends her aloha, it's exactly as Kawika described it. Yeah? It's as if the mom was speaking to the brother directly from and through the nephew. And that's how deep aloha is, everybody. Yeah, it's really, really deep. So that's pretty awesome. Kawika, that you remember that story that I shared, because I haven't said that story for a long time. Mahalo.
And mahalo to you for sharing it in the first place. Yeah. So I was listening, obviously. All right, mahalo. Good. One more. I'm finding myself doing these resets in my Kukakuka TalkStories. It's something that we only do in the clubhouse, but I'm gonna resist the urge to do it here. Who's next? Is there somebody else that would like to share about aloha and unconditional love in their lives and in their experience?
Actually, there's a lot of people in here I don't even know.
Yeah. Okay, introduction time, folks.
Why don't we start with where'd she go? Susan. Why don't we start with Susan?
Hello. It is 1:30 in the morning here. I'm doing my best here to be functioning. Thank you for sharing these stories. And I think, like many others, when I think of unconditional love for myself, I think of my children and my family. And this last year being in lockdown and not being able to see the people that you love, and unfortunately the times that we did get together during lockdown were for funerals. And I think just the overwhelming sense of knowing that I'm number 9 of 10 kids, and just knowing that we're all there for each other, and that love is so complete. And believe me, there's a lot of things we've all done to each other in that course of time. And and I just remembered to be able to hug my kids. Liz, I didn't ever want to let go. And we'll all get through this, and there's so much love that we need to offer not only our immediate family, but just anyone who's been alone or doesn't have family and who doesn't have someone caring about them, the neighbor that you just go by their house and say, are you okay? Wear a mask, bring over some fruit or bread or whatever it is. And it's just that sense of caring for one another. So anyway, thank you. I'm glad I joined you tonight.
Mahalo, Susan. And yeah, Lawrence, this is Susan Josephson from Clubhouse. Okay, so that's so you know where some of these people are coming from. Okay.
Hi, Susan. Aloha. I want to hear from who I want to hear from Rashika. Is that the name? Rashika. Hey, Kalamani, excuse me, but I was writing you, but I was actually writing to where'd he go? He left. Rashika. I was writing to, oh, there he is, Russia. Yeah, I was writing to him, but I sent it to you. Did you receive that?
Nice.
Yeah, but I was actually writing to Russia, and then when I went down the list, I said, oh no, I sent it to the wrong person.
Well, I guess that was fine.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Well, this is my first time here, and I also listened from the Clubhouse. I'm originally from Nepal, and right now I'm based in Bangalore, and I'm a painter. So I think the unconditional love for me, like, it comes pretty easily because I am, like many other people here, I'm pretty empathetic. But what's difficult for me is to have that self-love. So that is something like which doesn't come naturally, and I struggle with it. But I have been trying to improve on it, and because I guess like unconditional love, if you are having for some other people, then it should come for yourself also. And
right.
So I think I would like to focus more on having like that unconditional love for yourself. So that's what I have to say.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Mahalo
for your share.
Mahalo.
Thank you. Ashai, how are you?
Good, very well, thank you. How are you? What would you like me to share? I'm good.
Well, you share what you want to share, Ashai, but maybe,
who are you?
It would be good to let everybody know where you're from.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Sri Lankan, raised in New Zealand, living in Melbourne. I have been lucky enough to come across Hawaiian healing art of Lomi Lomi. And as soon as I got onto that, I was introduced to Kawika and Kumu and now I've immersed myself in all the Hawaiian spirituality things I can get my hands on. With the subject of unconditional love, I can understand Ruchika. The part where, when I was growing up as a child, I didn't feel not loved. We were told that love was wrong because there's this tradition of arranged marriages. That's right, in our culture. So my parents, they didn't show any love. They were not loving towards each other, and I was made to think that love was wrong. They didn't want me to grow up and have a boyfriend, I guess. But I've spent my life, when growing up, most of my time outside, climbing trees or playing with animals. So I didn't feel not loved. But I don't know how. I don't know. I wasn't taught how to feel love from humans. So I've only learned love from nature and connecting with animals and trees. But I am full of love. And so I have that unconditional love, which I'm like a fountain that never stops having water in it, just full of love all the time. I don't feel like I miss out on feeling loved. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel love when I don't feel like I missed out. I just feel like a beacon of love anyway. Does that make sense? I don't know how to explain it.
No, it doesn't.
Does make sense.
No.
Actually, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in a completely different place. Yeah. You're in a place that you are so full of love. And yeah, what a lot of people don't realize, you've experienced a lot of things in life where there was no love. And since I met you, I'm amazed by you. Yeah. And my point to you is to continue that path. Yeah. Of loving anyway. And come to understand what is love.
And the thing is, I don't expect people to love me. There's no expectation. I just am. So that's probably why I get myself in trouble with relationships. Because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to expect. I'm just me. And I just be, and I am love, I give love, and I don't know how else to be. So a lot of learning to do.
Mahalo. Thank you.
Mahalo, sorry.
Is it Emina? Hi, Emina.
Hi, mahalo. It's Amina.
Okay, Amina.
Amina.
Got it.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I was invited by my Kumu Charlie, who I'm a Lomi Lomi student of. But since lockdown, I haven't really had the opportunity to practice that as much. And I was drawn to this meeting today because I really wanted to feel into why I'm drawn to Aloha, the spirit of Aloha, and the teachings that I've barely scratched the surface of. And I can just feel it energetically tonight. So I really want to thank all of you for giving me that transmission of love. And what's really resonating for me is the reverence of ancestral love transmissions that I really feel is in tandem with the spirit of Aloha. And it brings me back to the phrase or the mantra that I hold very dearly, and that's every breath is beautiful. And it takes me back to when my father passed away in 2012, where there was this beautiful poetic synchronicity where I was performing in Melbourne, doing a short performance where I blew a kiss to everyone in the audience and then symbolically took out a strand of pearls and said, every breath is beautiful. And that night my father passed away from an asthma attack, and the last thing he said was, can't breathe. And from then there was this transmission of reverence for expression, for life force. And I really feel that connecting to the spirit of Aloha, and why I feel moved by these teachings and why I want to immerse myself in them even more. So just through the shares of everyone, I really feel that synergy and that connection of this ancestral transmission and appreciation and reverence with the beauty that is Aloha. So thank you for that. Thank you so much. Mahalo.
Thank you. So, Melinda, as you can notice, as I usually do, I just take over the show, right?
Well, there's a lot of people in here that you don't know yet, and it's all good.
I understand that. I see. Actually, I saw Charlie earlier, but I don't see her now. She must have left.
Kumu, are these Kumo's privileges? Your
Right. No privileges. And Marita, I love what you said, by the way, Marita. All right.
Mahalo.
Yeah. Especially when you talked about when you just entered as to the last words that I was saying.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
That's been my experience, just my current experience. It's kind of like you nailed me. So thank you in a really lovely way. Mahalo.
Awesome.
Yeah, and not that I would have loved to, but it's always timing, huh? It's boom.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, right?
I think that was boom. Aced it. Thanks. Perfect.
It's always being in the right place at the right time. So I see, is it Lori?
Lori.
Lori, I know you have your picture on, but can you speak to us?
Hi, I'm Lori. I'm sorry, it's a little dark here.
Okay.
It's like 2 a.m. here, but I heard you on Clubhouse and something just really resonated, and I didn't get a chance to really, I guess, dig deep into, what your teaching is, but I am very interested with Ho'oponopono, and so yeah, I just joined because I guess I resonated with what you said. And thank you for everyone that invited me here.
Well, by the way, Lori, where are you?
I'm in California.
California.
Okay. California. Susan's in California.
Thank you for sharing. And we're very happy you're here.
Thanks.
Yeah. Aloha, Ricardo.
I am also, I want to connect with also my ancestor and my roots as well. My great-great-grandmother was Hawaiian, so yeah.
What's the name?
What's the last name?
I don't know.
You know from what? You know from what island?
Kauai.
Ooh. Kauai. Wow. Kauai is.
I think the story was my great grandmother. She ended up, I guess, selling the actual land that one of the oldest Catholic church with all the paintings inside, I guess since recently had moved because of the volcanic activities. Yeah, I don't know too much, but yeah.
Yeah, you should try to. I mean, who's still alive in your family that's older than you that might have information?
I don't know. My grandfather, he passed many years ago, and he died when he was almost 100. So
wow.
Yeah. And I'm already 50 something, so yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to find, but I do feel the connection more and more. And I've had some spiritual journey, and I had an enlightened teacher that actually told me they saw someone from Hawaii that's actually maybe one of my ancestors that's my guardian angel. So yeah, I definitely feel a connection.
Beautiful.
For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Mahalo for your share, Lori.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ricardo, I hope you're not driving, but aloha.
No, Kumu Lawrence, good morning from the Netherlands, 11 p.m. in the morning. I'm actually, I don't know if you can see it. This is my little car, which is loaded with oil and massage tables, and that's my lifestyle. I'm traveling around as a nomad in Belgium, the Netherlands, for teaching Hawaiian healing touch work, Lomi Lomi. And I'm so inspired again. I just can't stop being with you, listening every time, hearing it from a different perspective, and layer by layer coming to more depth of the knowledge, of the Ike, of the wisdom. And speaking about unconditional love, for me, it all actually really started when I was living in Indonesia, in Bali, and I was just alone in nature. And it was that moment that I really saw the beauty the splendor of nature, and I was mesmerized by the enchanted, beautiful sight, and it was the first time that I said and expressed my feeling to nature. I was actually talking to a tree, and I said to the tree, "My God, you're so incredible, beautiful." It's like, how is it even possible? There's something. It's like I never really, it came really never to my mind the beauty or to my heart. But in that moment, I expressed it, and I was talking with a tree, and I understood at that moment that a tree is not a tree, A tree is just a word. It's just a concept. We like to give words and concepts to things. But I just discovered in that moment, it's just like me, a living, breathing creature that is highly intelligent. And so when I really saw that, even the beauty was even more depth and more strong. And in that moment, the tree was giving me a beautiful presence, and that was love. And I felt it was not only love, there was also wisdom in it. And the tree, which is not a tree, taught me that I am the tree, and I am the light, and I am the others. We are all just one in unity, in Lokahi, and we are just one family, one big family. And the love is in everything around us. And so actually, I have to say, and it's nothing against you guys, but I have not encountered a bigger teacher, a greater teacher than nature. Still, no book or any guru or any teacher has taught me more than nature. And so my teaching to my students is go into nature, go alone and be silent and express your gratitude for the beauty around you, and wait and see the splendor and the wonder and the magic that's happening when nature is completely unfolding itself to you and showing you what is Aloha Unconditional love. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to introduce myself.
And you know what's even one step better, Ricardo? If you know the name of the tree. Yeah? Like that of the goddess Laka, or that of the god, or the god Kani, or the god who is, the many kinolau, the many body forms in our forest that we identify. That's even greater, yeah? Not just nature, but you understand who the tree is that you're individually, That's even greater.
Yeah, the layer. Yeah, a layer deeper.
Layers.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So nature cannot be greater than what I just shared with you. No, I'm only kidding.
Yeah. Thank you, Kumu Lawrence. It's the first time I'm going to say to you, I love you.
I love you too. Mahalo.
Mahalo, my Lord.
I believe it's Patricia. Aloha, Patricia.
Hello, everybody. I'm Patricia. I'm from Switzerland.
Ooh.
And I have the feeling it's in special moments I get a glimpse of Aloha. And when I go into nature, it's easier to get to that feeling for me, but not all the time, because my mind is just challenging sometimes, really. So, and the other part is that I realize for me it's quite difficult. It's easier in nature alone than in people's company. I think that's quite challenging to get there, or even to this feeling. What I think at the moment, I'm even not sure if it's really the whole who is to sense, but this glimpse to get it into my daily life. And but I realized it's like a process, and to start again, or to recapture it and try again to bring it more and more in daily life. Sometimes I have the feeling it's easier, and sometimes it's really, really hard also to get back to it, to get a glimpse again So I don't know if that's clear what I mean.
Yes, it is very much clear. And the thing about it is, Patricia, is it's a good place to go to as far as nature is concerned. And, it really depends on where we are, where we are on a mental base, spiritual base, or that of physically is concerned. Things share to you through that of nature in many different forms for many different reasons. So I understand clearly what you're saying, But it is. I agree with you. I agree with Ricardo, But, for me, everybody, I want you guys to know, though tonight, I understand when people speak of nature. For me, if I go into the trees, I identify what I call the kinolau, the body forms of the different spirits, as it's shared in that of our stories, our dances, our chants. This is how we learned about who they are. What's the name of the winds, as an example? Halawa Valley has 20 different winds, and all the winds have name. And when I say Halawa Valley, that's where I was born. That's where I was raised, on the far northeast side, of this island of Molokai. But yet the island as a whole, everyone, and I want to note this to all of you, the island as a whole has 32 winds. And yet 20 of those winds are in Halawa. That's actually named in Halawa. So it kind of gives you the idea of the significance of this space. And there's a reason for that too. You see, there's so much layers of understanding that you have to come to know, everybody. Why is there 20 winds of 32 winds throughout the island of Molokai that's located in this one area? There's a reason for that, everybody. And the reason behind it is something really simple, actually. Halawa is located to the northeast side of the island, and our trade winds, what most people call trade winds, is actually the holona of many winds that comes from the northeast. And it blows across to the southwest, which means it has to actually go through the valley of Halawa, go up and over the mountains and through the different ridges, and to make its way up over that mountain of 4,590 feet high called Kamapo. So then when the winds go in the directions they go and they get to the other side, then they take different names. And we call that the duality, everybody. As to how winds' names are formed and changed at the same time. So coming to know the names, everybody, of the clouds like that of the Kailua cloud that reaches from that of Mount Kamako, which is right here. As I look out this window here, and it's the highest peak on the island, and it travels westward as far as this cloud. And yet one of the major clouds of many clouds is called Kailua. Yeah, and the interesting thing about the Kailua cloud is when in much of the stories, it talks about when it gets to the west side and to the west or the southwest point, there is this huge turbulence that it creates there. And the reason it's creating the turbulence is because it comes across what we call the Kaiwi Channel, which is that of the channel between the two islands of Molokai and Oahu. So this is where the great battle takes place of the winds that comes through that channel and that of the clouds that are coming over that of Kamako and over the mountain of Mauna Loa and getting to the southwest corner. This is where you have that huge turbulence that takes place there, everyone. So it's names. If you can come to know the names of what you call nature, everybody, then you have just taken the next step, the next level of the many, many levels that we should come to understand, everyone. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. Yeah, mahalo, everybody. We have Marika, Donna, Amanda, just the way I called out your names.
So me first.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
Marika, woo!
Aloha, everybody. And first of all, I just want to say mahalo. Mahalo to the Kumus and mahalo to everybody who has shared. And I'm very touched. I don't know if the expression is right in English. You really stirred me up. So and it feels good. Yeah, I've heard these teachings about Aloha so many times, and it's so profound, and it's just touching me. I don't know if I have words right now.
How about we come back to you, Marika? Is that okay?
It's okay.
Donna. Aloha.
Aloha mai kako. I'm the haumana of Kumu Kawika Foster. We met in 2017, so coming up to 5 years putting up with him now. No, no, I'm living in Switzerland right now. Every day I'm really hearing you, Marika. I really drop down into places where I'm just so grateful to have met and known this lineage. And I just love each and every one of you here. It's so nice to hear everyone share. It's been great to see you, Melinda. That's the first time I've put a face to the voice that I hear a lot on Clubhouse. So really mahalo for your share, and everyone else that's joined us. It's such a great journey. I'm loving every day on the roller coaster ride. So, yeah, malama pono. Pau.
Mahalo, Donna. Amanda and Meryl, you better not run away, Meryl.
Oh.
Aloha, Kumu, Kawika, Kumu Pa'a Lawrence. Lovely to see, and Kumu Catherine, lovely to see you all. I've loved hearing all your stories of aloha. It's filled my heart. I'm feeling all warm and fuzzy. Yeah, and I feel really grateful for, the teachings, and, I feel like I've really worked at, aloha, sending aloha to others. Yeah, but I know I've got to work on it for myself, and then I know in return then that will grow. Yeah, and it's, beautiful, and just, yeah. Yes, I'm grateful for the teachings, and I love you all, and so grateful. I've got to say tuck my little beautiful girl in, so I'm gonna ahui ho.
Ahui ho.
Ahui ho, Amanda.
Ahui ho, Mandy. Love you too. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Muriel, it's your turn. Let's go. Hey, we cannot hear you. We can't hear you.
Oh, I am.
There you go.
Mute.
There you go.
There you go. Now we can hear you.
You can't see me, but there I am.
There you are.
Yes.
Aloha,
Aloha.
everybody. I'm just dropping in by, not by accident, but I saw the link, so I thought, okay, I can join.
Yes.
And don't know what the question was because I just dropped in. But aloha, everybody.
Yeah, bro, we just everybody was just introducing themselves, and if they had a little share, that's fine too.
Okay, well, I'm Marielle. I am a member of Mana Okahiko. I follow lessons with Kumu Kawika, and I listen a lot also to Kumu Lawrence, and I love the teachings. And I'm not going to say I'm here to listen, but I'm here to listen. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Mahalo,
Muriel.
Marika, I want to come back to you, Marika.
Yeah, I just want to say that the stirring up is not something bad. It's happiness. It's all the feelings mixed up, and it's good. And maybe it takes me some time to take it in. What really got me, and well, many things got me today. And it was like a coming together and love yourself first, unconditionally. That was really, for me, it's like a key, and also all the struggles and all that belongs or comes along in life, it just happens, and all these struggles and love myself. It's an easy answer, and it's not always easy, and I feel very thankful. Feels good to talk from my heart right now. Yeah, very thankful. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Mahalo, Marika. So that everybody know,
Mahalo, Marika.
Marika has been learning from both Kawika and myself for a long time.
Since 2010.
Yeah, since 2010.
Yep.
Yeah.
Came all the way to Halava Valley.
Yeah.
Yep.
Catherine, aloha, Catherine.
Oh, aloha, mai kako. Yeah, I remember Marika dropping into the valley with that beautiful flute that she used to play, and yeah, I've had many beautiful memories of cleaning kalo and doing all sorts of really great things in the valley with you. So yeah, mahalo, Marika. And of course, you were the one who brought us out to Switzerland.
Yeah.
I mean, way back.
Yep.
2010 and Lutzafleur and all of that. That was awesome. So yeah. Wow, the one big long continuous clubhouse session that still keeps on giving. I've just had such a great, it's been such a great afternoon, evening. This last 4.5 hours has just been awesome. So many things have been touched upon and brought forward, and then just a few things like, it just really gave me an appreciation of of the things when I was growing up, I as a child I had that. I still remember having that connection as a child, but I can really remember points where I was like, where's it gone? Like, how come all of you aren't operating on that level anymore? And how come you don't communicate like that? And so I can see, looking back now, I can see where it just sort of started to fall away, and having little moments, little connections through things of either like lying on the grass and the grass talking to me, and talking to the crabs on the beach, or little moments where I would connect back into that sense of ohana and aloha and connectedness. And it wasn't until I came upon these teachings in the Hawaiian culture where I came across a whole lot of people who were just living that way. And so yeah, it was. I'll never forget. I even just had a memory of first time I flew into Hawaii. It was back to Kona. On the Big Island, and just getting off the plane, and it was like this wave of smell and sound, and it was something you could touch. There was people playing ukulele and singing to us. There was people adorning us with leis, with flowers, with the fragrance, and it was like the essence of it was just in the air. It was everywhere, and I didn't know, what that was at the time. It was just like, wow, this is pretty cool. And but yeah, that was my first memory of it as something more than just a word, the essence of it. And then of course, meeting with some local Hawaiians who, that's how they were brought up. That's how they thought. That's how they lived. That's how they operated. That's how they treated me and anyone that they came across, and how they started to share with me how they were raised, and how their generosity of spirit, their way of connecting to things around, and the way that they would share their stories and the things that their grandparents and their parents had shared with them. And at the time, again, I didn't realise just how unique and special it was until 20 years later, drop into the valley and into living with Kumu Lawrence and Kawika and Uncle Palipo, and being surrounded by, again, this lineage and teachings that were just so connected on an extremely deep level to operating with aloha, with operating in spirit, mind and body, and the humbling experience of it, the shattering of my mind, and because I was so indoctrinated into the Western way of experiencing this word of love, or of being and this individual, rather than being connected to everything and everyone around me. So on so many layers, when you talk about aloha and that unconditional love, it's the thread that goes through all of these teachings. It's the thread that goes through how to live this happy life. So mahalo, Kumu, for always your generosity and your ability to inspire us all to continue to live this. So yeah, thanks everyone too, because your awesome questions keep them going. We never had this, our teachings are like, just had to pick it up. So it's just awesome to have the questions that you bring forward and their ability to spend time in all these platforms to share. I'm loving it. So yeah, mahalo to all of you. Love this, love you all, and continue this going. It's just such medicine in these times. So yeah, mahalo.
Mahalo, Catherine. Thank you. Hey, did I go to you yet, Melinda? Then it's your turn, Melinda. You're not pulling out your book.
When are we going to
I love that.
Of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Surely mine are coming in the mail, right?
Have you seen?
I'm working on it. Seriously.
Okay.
I think we just need to make up some, a little PDF or something, and we can all print them out. Anyway, that's too easy.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. I'm Melinda, and I'm living in London, in the UK. And I am from the US, but I've been in Europe for most of my life, actually. And I've been here in London for 20 years. And yes, when I came here, I just felt, I actually heard a message, welcome home, from the land. And I just felt my heart just expand when I came here. And I cultivated a relationship with the land here, and would go out on trips, honoring places that had been forgotten, but had been in relationship with communities. And so this is what kept me here. And so, these are some experiences I've had. And I have met tree spirits, and they have introduced themselves to me. And I've had many amazing experiences throughout my life. And recently on Clubhouse, it was so interesting. I had this knowing to join. I signed up, and it was invitation only. And a few hours later, boom, I got an invitation. And so I've been in spiritual rooms, and eventually started doing my own because I followed that message. And then lo and behold, I come across Kumu Lawrence Saki, and then Kawika. And I feel that same sense of coming home. It's that innate thing you cannot explain, but it's like we are meeting again. And and it just fills me every single time I'm in their presence. And so I love you both dearly, and I love everybody that's part of your community. And and this love that just comes through me is so big that my human form almost can't contain it, So I'm working on my body to allow and to expand energetically, to allow me to expand into this place that I find myself growing into.
Yeah.
So this is how I can explain it, because this is these are things that have no words. They are just experience that are calling to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like, wow, this is the second time I've really felt that coming home, just some recognition. And I've talked, Lawrence, I say this to you, and I thank you all the time that, we've met again. So I have no words to express. So thank you.
Thank you.
I love
Thank you.
I love you both dearly.
We love you
too, Melinda. Yeah.
We love you too, Melinda. Deep. Mahalo.
And I'm working on it, okay?
Yeah. Good, because I want a set. I'm dead serious. I love those.
Yeah, I actually found the company where these were made.
Okay,
so
cool.
I'm talking to them about doing an order for me. So yeah.
Right on.
Awesome. Kaz, I just want to let you know, because Kieran and I, we've been out for the month of July, right? But there was a request by Jason and others that was in the Ho'oponopono class. So we're creating that of a, reunion.
Yeah.
So I'm just giving you the heads up, all right? Right now we're working on our membership because we got tons of people that's on our membership list that we got to deal with. But what I'm telling you, Kaz, is be prepared, because Jason and others have expressed with me they want to do a reunion with all of those that was in the whole Ponopono class there. So I'm just giving you the heads up.
Sounds good. Yeah, you let me know when and where. I'll be there.
Yeah. You know, I think it's a great idea. Everybody wants to get together, so awesome. Hey, everyone, mahalo. You know, definitely, I love all of your shares. I got to read this again to make sure I pronounce it. Marita, I absolutely love you. You and I speak the same language. That's why, yeah. You know, definitely. Okay.
Thank you.
But you're welcome. I stole this room from Kawika. I am now going to return the room to Kawika.
Mahalo, thank you. It's all good. It's all good, Kumu. There's people in here you didn't know, and it's, you know, my room is your room. So, look, we have gone 42 minutes over the originally intended time for Kukakuka. It's really just supposed to be a 1 hour, get in, blast it hard, share good and deep, and then bounce out, you know, and see you next week. So we got 42 extra minutes of shares, and it was totally worth it. I want to thank you all for hanging in there and seeing it all the way through to the end. Again, I want to say that this happens every week. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and you'll have to do the time conversions for wherever you are in the world. And we share just like this. It's very comfortable, casual sharing of various topics on spirituality as a whole with a Hawaiian perspective. And of course, it's inclusive of what you all demonstrated here today with one another. It's a sharing too. So it's an opportunity to especially in these times, an opportunity that I cherish to just connect again and to share and to, you know, and to explore and to connect. So I want to thank you all deeply for being here. I want to thank Mike Kumu for being here, and for all the contributions. Actually, there really wasn't any need for any questions, but for all the shares and the contributions of Aloha, the spirit of unconditional love, and how it's touched your lives, and how it's how unconditional love is working and presenting itself in your place and in your family and life. So we're done. That's it. We are finished. We are pow. Okay. See you next week.
Can
ahead.
I make a suggestion for next week?
Don't invite you?
Good one. That's a real good one. Kawika.
Lose that invitation. Oops.
Then I'll tell everybody that you're lying. I was never your teacher. So, no, here's my suggestion. Hey, everyone, what do you guys think of it? I want to see thumbs up or thumbs down, okay? What do you guys think about you guys come with your questions and Kawika answer the questions about Hawaiian teaching, about Hawaiian spirituality, Hawaiian body work, whatever it is. Thumbs up or thumbs down, everybody. Give it to me. Show it to me. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Hey, very good. There you go, Kawika.
Okay, well then I'll lose my invitation and make sure you get yours.
Okay.
All right, well then that's what it is. Next week that'll be what it is. It'll be rapid fire Q&A wherever we want to go. And
Bring your questions.
Bring your questions.
It'll be like shooting stars through the universe.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, you're allowed only maximum 2 questions, all right? Just in case there's too much people, all right? You're allowed only 2 questions per person. Ahuiho, everybody. I love all of you, but it's late over here. I gotta go to bed.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Good night, Melinda.
This is closing down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ahui ho. Aloha.
Goodbye.